is a fairy tale inspired actual play D&D podcast. It follows the adventures of Princess Theia, the human sorceress, played by Lydia Miller.
Kind of a high priority brother being dragged into the forest by evil beast.
Delaelia, the elven ranger, played by Kelsea Botwinick-Caruza.
She needs our help, so I'm going to find a way to solve the problem.
Felix, the gnome fighter, played by Rebecca Munoz.
I think I just need D&D and my girls. I think I just need that right now. I think I need that.
And me, your DM, Emma Carter. Hello. It's been so long. I know it's only been 2 weeks, but it feels like it's been forever. I mean, the last time I recorded, we still hadn't switched over to our new podcast art. How cool is our new art? Thank you, Rebecca, Justin, and Regina. I know I've thanked you before, but I'm obsessed with our new artwork for the podcast, so I'm going to say it again. Anyway, I do apologize I wasn't able to get an episode posted last week. I actually had to focus on some real-life paying work, but we're here now, so... Last time on Spellbound, our heroes jumped to Prince Dashing's aid in fighting the jackalweres. Unfortunately, the prince was not at the top of his game. One of the jackalweres put him into a strong, enchanted slumber and took him into the forest. Delaelia leapt onto the back of his captor and is now riding it through the forest. Duke Roger rode up on a horse and was able to distract the second jackalwere, allowing Princess Theia, against his wishes, to race into the forest after her brother. What will happen next? Let's find out. I will see you in the story.
So Princess Theia, your uncle is engaged in combat with this jackalwere. Delaelia and Dashing are disappeared into the forest, and you've got a goat next to you. What do you do?
Right? Okay, then I'm gonna dash to the woods.
Theia, you're running. You are running across a field dotted with unconscious men, past a beast that is locked in combat with one of the only truly fatherly figures you can remember having in your life. And you look towards the horizon, and you see the edge of the woods, a place that you've never been to before, that you've been told your entire life is evil and dangerous. And you run faster than you've ever run before, and suddenly, you are in the forest. It's darker here, and slightly cooler. It takes a moment, but your eyes adjust to the darkness fairly quickly. You smell the earth. The ground beneath your feet is thick with roots and ferns and leaves. You can smell the trees. You have now left the kingdom of Highguard, Princess Theia, and entered the enchanted forest.
Cool.
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 So that is Theia's turn. Delaelia, you are also in the enchanted forest. Say the name that you gave me for it again.
Oh, Maeril.
Maeril.
Yeah.
So Delaelia, you are in Maeril, the forest. Maeril, as your people call it.
Or I think it's like Maeril.
Maeril.
Maeril. Mm-hmm.
Maeril. You have entered the forest of Maeril, which you are familiar with. You've grown up here. And you are pursuing the jackalwere. It is still running as fast as it can ahead of you. And and you're on its back. That's right. You're still on its back. So I'm gonna say it's your turn. I want you to start off the turn by making a dexterity saving throw to stay on the back. Now that you've gotten onto it, it is moving around, so you've got to stay latched on. So make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Woo! Yes!
What'd you
And I'm
roll?
on. It's a nat 20.
Awesome. So,
Yes.
describe
Got
for
it.
me. Describe for me. I'm gonna say that like the jackalwere is he's shifting around. He's leaping over logs and he's trying to shake you off. But what do you do, Delaelia?
It's like riding on a really clumsy jungle cat. Like it's not as smooth as a jungle cat, but it's like similar, you know?
Okay.
So I tighten my hold on its neck, and I actually, instead of holding it with both arms, which is slippery, I hold it with one arm and then stabilize that arm with my, and stabilize it so it's almost into a chokehold.
Nice.
So that is my dream is that because I am doing that, that I'm going to try again to throw my weight and like just knock it down. I'm also attempting to hit it in the back of its knees with my legs because it's been like a few moves now at this point. So I've readjusted, and yeah, it's like it's a judo move. So I try to like pull him back and poke my feet into the back of his knees at the same time.
Awesome. Roll a strength check with, I'm gonna say with advantage because you rolled so high on your dexterity save. You've got a really good grip on him. Okay. Cool.
Okay, so I got an 18 and a 6.
Okay,
18.
so
Oh, sorry, that is a 20.
it's a 20. It's a 20.
Yeah.
Got a dirty 20. I'm gonna roll for him just to roll, but I don't think that's gonna beat him unless he rolls like a nat 20 or something.
Ah!
Close.
He rolled a 19. Let me check. Let me actually check real quick. So he rolls a 19. So he almost beats you, but he doesn't. So Delaelia, you describe for me.
It was hard, but I got it. Okay, so yeah, so I have him in a chokehold that I've supported with my other arm so that it's really tight, and I arch my back and use all of my weight and my core strength to sort of like make him unbalanced, and then I effectively like wedge my feet into the back of his knees so that he just tumbles, like has no control over his body at that point. So he falls, and I keep him held and I hold him on the ground.
So I'm gonna say you do knock him over, like you said, and he does drop dashing, but you rolled really well for dex, so I think he's not grappled, but you're still on him.
Okay, cool.
Let's see. So that is Delelia's awesome turn.
Yeah,
now it
that's
is his turn. So the beast back at home or outside the woods tries to attack Duke Roger, but it misses. So they're still locked in combat. I think he's gonna. Oh, you're on his back though. Okay. So I think he's just gonna try to shake you off, Delaelia. I think he's going to try to throw you up against a tree, like when you've got someone on your back and you like throw them up against something. He's going to like stand because he'd been running on 4 legs. He's going to stand on 2, and he's going to hit his back against a tree in an attempt to get you off his back. Rolls a 15
Against me, like a contest.
Yeah, let's do a strength contest. So he rolls a 15. He doesn't add anything for his strength.
I rolled a 16.
Yeah, I usually go with the first roll. So you roll a 16. So he throws you up against a tree, Delaelia, and it hurts. Like, it does hurt. In fact, maybe like take like 1 point of damage because he does throw you up pretty hard against the tree. But you're able to stay on. You're able to stay on this beast. You've got a good hold on him. Felix, you are still out near, you and Ramsey are still out near Duke Roger and the other beast, and you have just seen Princess Theia run into the forest. What do you do?
Oh, this is tough because he doesn't want to leave this royalty behind, but he can't shake that dream of protecting the girl, and so Felix, I can't do it, but he puts his fingers in his mouth and whistles, and Ramsey comes running up. He jumps up on Ramsey and takes off towards the woods. And he's just like, no, wait, come back!
And I don't think you've ever been there before either, have you?
Well, I've been traveling, but I'm not sure if I've been in the woods. Probably not. Probably on the road, so probably not in the woods.
Okay. So you head into the woods, and the same thing, the smells, the air, it's a little, I want to say a little cooler in here because the trees are filtering through the light. And you are running off towards your friend, towards Princess Theia and Delaelia. Are you dashing with Ramsey to catch up quickly?
Yes.
Okay, so you dash after them. And we are back to the top of the order. Okay, so Delaelia, you and the beast have stopped at this point. Dashing, I'm gonna say Dashling has been thrown around a little bit, and so you're there with the beast, Delaelia, and even though like you're on his back, I think that you notice Dashing kind of moving a little bit, but he doesn't look like he's getting up immediately. And then Princess Theia, can you make a survival check for me? So I'm gonna go with the first one. So it's a 9. So Theia, you've never been in the forest before. So you're having a hard time. Like you have a vague idea of like where they were running, but because they're ahead of you, you're not 100% sure that you're heading in the right direction. So you're running through the forest, and you haven't found them yet, but you are in the forest looking for your friends.
I mean, could I do like a perception check?
Princess Theia, you stop a moment, and you look around to try and gain your bearings, and you hear movement up ahead. You hear what sounds like a big thump up ahead, the sound of Delaelia being smacked into a tree.
That's my body.
and so that gives you a sense of what direction to keep walking in on your next turn. Yeah, back to Delaelia. So Delaelia, you are still on the creature's back.
Can I get any idea of what's going on with Dashing? Is he dying or is he like not dying?
Roll me an investigation or a perception check.
So I rolled a crit, but it turned out to be a 6.
So it was a nat 1 though. So I'm gonna say you are a little bit dazed from the fact that you just got slammed into a tree, and so you can't really tell what's happening with Dashing right now. And it was a critical fail, so I can take like a harder move. I'm gonna say that as you are trying to look towards Dashing to see what's wrong with him, you you start to lose your grip on the jackalwere because you're distracted by what you're doing with Dashing and looking at him. And you since he is after you, I'm gonna let him for his turn try to get out of your bind with advantage because you are a bit dazed and distracted.
Okay. And so then I'm going to cast Animal Friendship on this guy.
Can you read that out loud for me, even though I can't see it?
So this spell lets you convince a beast that you mean it no harm. So you choose a beast that you can see within range. It must be able to see and hear you. If the beast's intelligence is 4 or higher, the spell fails.
So its intelligence is higher than 4.
Oh, cool. So never mind.
Okay.
And other than that, I'm going to try to hold on. I say to it, give up, fiend.
With advantage, it has a 20, and it responds to you, Delaelia. And it shakes you off of it, violently shakes you off of it, Delaelia, and sends you, it flings you like across just like a couple feet away, and you land on the ground, prone. And the beast, it grabs Dashing and it takes off again.
That's a lot of actions.
Well, it got to make okay. I'm gonna say, well, it gets a movement though. It gets a movement, so it's gonna move to Dashing, and it's gonna grab him again. But it doesn't move further than that. It goes to him and so it has it in its clutches again. You're right. That was a lot.
I was really sassy.
That's okay.
I liked it.
No, I'm good.
All right, Felix, it is your turn.
Okay, so we're running into the forest, right? So do I need to make a survival check or something?
Yeah,
I'm trying to locate where.
I didn't have Delaelia roll one of those because she was on its back already. But yeah, make a survival.
He's already
check.
trying to survive. Okay. I rolled an 18, and plus my 3, that's a 21.
Awesome. So, Felix, he's having an easier time of this. He's a traveler. He's been all over before, so it's a little bit easy for him to find his way. And so you are heading towards your friends, Felix. And I'm going to say because you rolled so well, you notice the princess up ahead, and she's going in the right direction, although you think she's maybe just slightly a little bit off course. What do you do?
Felix is gonna head towards where he thinks the right direction is, and he's just gonna call back over his shoulder. This way! Wrong way, princess.
Thanks.
Great.
And we're just gonna. Felix is just gonna charge in as far as I can.
Cool.
And that's gonna be the action, I guess.
Cool. And
Until
just
we reach him.
for the sake of getting us all back together, I'm gonna say that by the end of this turn, you can see Delaelia up and the beast up ahead. You're not quite there yet, but you can see them, so you're pretty close. You'll be there by your next turn.
All right.
So we go back to the top. Delaelia, you are laying on the ground prone, and from your vantage point, you can see that Dashing is like starting to struggle now a bit. Make another investigation check for me.
14.
That's high enough that you notice that, like, as he's struggling, it looks like he might have hit his head as he was being dragged, because there's blood dripping down the side of his head. So he may have gotten hit in the head while he was being dragged through the forest, which could explain why he's not like jumping into action. So he is attempting to like fight away this beast, but I'm gonna say he's not doing well, and so he's not really able to do much than just kind of like hit at it with his fist and like go. That's your Foley. That's your Foley for today, folks. So that's Dashing's turn. Princess Theia.
Okay. I mean, I guess I'm gonna keep running. I have to get to them. So, yep. I'm gonna run.
Okay. You keep running. You were a little bit ahead of Felix. So with his help, you were redirect yourself, and you make it to I'll say the edge of this like little mini like wood clearing where this fight seems to be going down. And you arrive and you see the jackalwere has Dashing in its jaws, and Delaelia is prone on the ground, although she seems conscious.
Do I still have an action, or was that my action?
So you're not Dashing, so you still have an action.
Would it be stupid to check in with the just like in the stories thing?
Since you know what? Since you didn't have that feature the first time you encountered a jackalwere, because we just added it the last session, right? I mean, you had that background, but we hadn't really talked about having that just like in the stories feat before. So since you haven't actually, the player, had a chance to use it for the jackalwere, I will let you roll it this time, because it's the first time you encounter a new person or a new creature or a new place. You get to roll to try to recall if this is something that you've read about in your Idols adventures before. So I will let you roll that.
I'm mad.
What did you roll, Theia?
I rolled a 1.
You don't think that your mother ever encountered any beast exactly like this.
Okay, and that was my action?
You can talk still.
Hey! That's what I got.
Okay, awesome. Are you trying to intimidate it?
I'm trying to distract it.
Okay.
Because isn't it like attacking Dashing right now?
It's got him in its mouth.
Can I say hey and like throw a log? Well, like a stick.
Hulks it.
We'll say
Things awakened within her.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you pick up a stick and you hurl it towards the creature. Let's see, what do I have you roll for that? I mean, it's not like you're trying to hurt it, you're just throwing a thing at it. So I'm not gonna make you roll. I mean, it's a couple feet away. So you throw a stick at it, and it looks at you, Princess Theia. You got its attention.
Yeah.
Delaelia. This is your turn.
Okay. So I'm here. I'm still near it.
You are prone. I'll remind you. Sorry about that.
I'm prone. Okay, so I am going to... I just saw that magic can't put me to sleep. Like, it's fine. It didn't end up doing anything, but that's a thing.
Okay, well, that's good to know now.
But,
okay.
like, it literally didn't... Yeah, good to know for the future. Okay, so I am...
We'll retcon. We'll say before
point,
that
I know that
Delaelia
it's-
just passed out for a second. She got so overcome with the heat of battle, or whatever.
Yeah, it affected
She
you more
tripped.
than anybody, Rebecca. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump up, and I'm over by it still, so I'm gonna try, right? Am I near it?
Yeah, you're all pretty close to each other.
Okay, so I'm going to say, leave him and go, beast, and then I'm going to try to hit him.
What'd you
Rolled
roll?
a 9. So how does he feel about it?
You reach out to hit him, and it just kind of like grazes off of his hide. But since his turn is next, Delaelia, I think he responds by he draws himself up on 2 legs to his full height, and he's still like gripping dashing like in his jaw. Dashing's kind of like struggling, like it's hanging from his mouth. And he can't talk because his mouth is full. And okay, no, and he grabs Dashing in his claws and opens his mouth, and he howls. He raises his head and he howls. And then he looks back down at you, Delaelia, and he smirks.
Oh no.
Fiendishly. And I think you've lived in the forest. You I think of, especially if anyone would get the sense that he might have just been calling for reinforcements.
Oh my god, how many of them are over there? We're gonna die.
And since it's his turn, I'm gonna say he also gets to like move a little bit because he's not attacking anybody. He just stood up and howled and smirked. And he's gonna turn and run. Away from you guys. What is everyone's passive perception?
15.
I'm at 11.
13.
Okay, good. Okay. So Felix, I'm not sure if you catch this. So you don't catch this, Felix. I think you're kind of just like focused on the jackalwere. But definitely Delaelia. Theia and Felix, they're still focused on the jackalwere. They've just arrived on the scene. You know, they've just gotten there. Delaelia, you hear a rustle in the bushes close by. Just so you know.
Can I do something about it?
Let's see whose turn it is.
Can I do an intelligence or wisdom check?
Delaelia, you hear a rustle in the bushes. I'm going to say to your left. And Felix and Theia, you're focused on the jackalwere, which has just started taking off with Dashing in its jaws. All of a sudden, Felix and Theia, you each feel a little prick in the side of your neck.
Oh no.
And you each feel a little prick in the side of your neck. And you are going to, I want to say it's a Constitution saving throw, but let me double check.
I guess if they were attacking all 3 of us, I could have an opportunity to like dodge it or something.
Yeah, I think you have it. Yeah. I think when it comes to opportunity attacks, you get an opportunity to like, I think it's called like disengaging, which is basically dodging it.
Well, but you and Theia don't know it's coming though. This is you.
No, for Kelsea.
Yeah. So Theia.
Just for me, yeah.
Theia and Felix, you each feel a little prick in the side of your neck.
Ew.
All right, make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh yeah.
Oh, very good constitution.
So, Felix, you feel a little prick in the side of your neck, and you start to feel a little bit funny, and you sway a little bit.
Who hates us?
I know. What did we do?
And then you slide off Ramsey and fall to the ground unconscious. And
no.
Theia, you do not fall unconscious, but suddenly you feel kind of sick. You feel kind of sick and just a little like groggy. Delaelia, you notice something coming from the bushes, so I'm going to give you a chance. I'm going to let you take an action. Or have it like a turn. What do you do? These guys were caught off guard. What do you do?
I'm gonna. So I am wanting to see what's in there. So my goal is to, because I am a natural explorer, so this is my chosen terrain.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I do like a perception check here, then I get advantage on it. So that was my goal, is to try to like perceive who it is or what it is. I could also do an investigation, I guess.
Whichever you prefer.
Whatever. Okay, thank God. Okay, so a 22.
Awesome. Okay, so Delaelia hears a rustle in those bushes, and Delaelia has lived in these forests, in this woods her whole life. She knows that this has the profile of a creature of the Fae. Some type of Fae creature in this forest is nearby.
Okay.
And I would say you also probably, because you're investigating and you're being very aware right now, you would have seen Felix fall off of Ramsey, and that would only add to your conclusion that there is a creature of the Fae in the forest.
Okay. Can I roll maybe like a history check or something to know who else lives in here?
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's not gonna be great, but there you go. So it's a 16.
Okay. Hey. So you know that the forest of Maeril is full of different types of creatures. Sprites, there are pixies, there are chorids, there are dryads, there are satyrs, there are many, many different types of fae. But you can assume that this would probably be one of the smaller creatures based on the rustling in the bushes, because it doesn't sound like a big creature.
That's fair. Okay.
So we're not still in combat. We're not still in combat, at least for right now, because the jackalwere has run away from it. The jackalwere has continually been trying to disengage from you guys. So technically, it disengaged from you and ran off. But now there's a different thing that is engaging you now. And
because I wanted to try to talk to it, but I didn't know if I had turn left. So in Sylvan, I say, "Show yourself. We are being assaulted by a jackalwere. We need help, not hindrance."
And you hear a rustling in the bushes in a different bush to your right. Theia and Delaelia, each of you make roll a d10 from, or roll a d20 for me again, a Constitution saving throw.
I got a 19.
And I got a. Did I not do it? Oh, 13.
Okay. So neither of you fall asleep, but you, again, Theia, you feel really crummy, and Delaelia, you start to feel a little crummy, and you hear behind you, Delaelia, you hear kind of like what might sound like the cooing of a dove, but it isn't a dove. It sounds maybe like a "Aw."
Gross. I want to go find out who this is. I want to go look at it.
So do you go look in the bushes behind you?
Yeah.
You don't see anything.
I hate it.
Princess Theia, are you doing anything?
Okay. I'm gonna do what's the difference between investigation and perception?
Perception is more about, at least this is how Justin taught me, perception is more about getting a general idea of what's going on around you, and investigation is looking at one specific thing very closely to try and solve something or gain some kind of conclusion. Sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
What are you investigating?
That noise. It did not go well.
So Princess Theia, you try to get an idea of what's going on, but you're like Delaelia, you don't see anything. You hear, I think, maybe some rustling in the bushes too, but you don't see anything. Actually, yeah, Delaelia, roll me a perception, or roll me a perception check, because Theia just rolled one. Okay.
I do get advantage on that, so it's a 23.
Perfect. Delaelia, you hear someone or something whisper, "But do we have to?" And then another voice goes, "Shh." Both of you roll another Constitution saving throw for me.
Oh.
Oh my
no.
Oh,
Whoa.
I'm just rolling like a maniac.
You
so
are.
sorry.
No, you're doing great. So yeah, both of you again, like you hear like, and it's like now you've got like three little, and I'll tell you at this point, Theia, you have like you've noticed you have three little like darts like sticking out of your neck. Tiny little darts.
Don't they know who I am?
Delaelia, you've got like two like sticking in your arm, and you don't like, you feel a little like blah, but you don't you don't pass out.
Is it
and I think
Felix asleep?
yeah,
Yeah.
Felix fell,
Felix is out.
but I will let you know, Delaelia, when you look at your arm and you see the little darts, you know that you would know this is very indicative of sprites.
Okay. Also, I'm not affected by it at all.
Okay,
So
so yeah,
that's
no, so yeah,
Mhm.
you don't feel anything. You just see the darts. Then you just see that
Okay,
there are
cool.
two little darts sticking out of you.
Okay, now that I know that they're sprites,
They
I
are
want to
fey.
know what to do about sprites.
So
yeah.
you would know,
So,
or actually, I mean, I feel like you would know this because you live in the forest. You would know that
Yeah.
sprites are, they see themselves as protectors of the forest. They are not malevolent, but they are fierce and formidable protectors. They're not like pixies, which are like beautiful and
just crazy.
gentle. But the sprites are like, don't mess with our forest or we will fight you.
Cool. Okay. So that gives me some insight on how to talk to them.
Yeah.
Fellow Fae, I understand that you're trying to protect the forest. That's what I am doing as well. I need your help, not your hindrance. Please, show yourself.
She seems nice. Shut up. And then there's more rustling, like all around you. All of the bushes are rustling now, but nobody makes another move.
Okay. And I say, I live here in this forest. It is my home. Please, is there anything that you can do for us? Otherwise, we're going to be on our way.
And at that, you hear a voice call out, "Why did you bring strangers into the forest?"
Hello, listeners. I'd like to take a moment to thank you, the listener, for pressing play. And an extra big thank you to those who've shared the podcast or left us reviews. Remember, if you share the podcast on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram and tag us, I'll put your name on my NPC naming list. In case anyone missed it, there are some new features on my website, www.emmaccarter.com, that specifically pertain to Spellbound. We now have a The Story So Far section where you can catch up on what's been going on. That way, we all stay on the same page. We also have a characters section with details on our player characters and a running list on all NPCs of note. So hopefully, these will help everyone keep track of all the friends and foes we meet along the way. All right, that's all for now. Let's get back to our heroes.
"Why did you bring strangers into the forest?" But it's a very tiny voice. So it's very, very fierce, but it's also very, very tiny.
This woman is being persecuted in her home at this castle of Highguard. She has magic within her, and she is being ostracized, even threatened. She needs our help. And so I'm going to find a way to solve the problem. But while we were trying to get out, her brother was attacked by this jackalwere and dragged off. That's why we're here.
And
Yeah,
there's some...
kind of a high priority. Brother being dragged into the forest by evil beast.
And
And I say, believe me, I don't want him to be in the forest either, and I'm doing my best to get him out.
And there's another little silence again, and Princess Theia, you feel just the slightest, very slightest little bit, like maybe even just you might be imagining it as if something has grazed across your ankle. Do you do anything?
I'm gonna look at it.
You don't see anything.
Oh God, what? Are they trying to tie me up or something?
It doesn't feel like anything's trying to tie you up. It just feels like maybe something just grazed past your ankle.
I just like that
There's
Felix.
just so many
Felix is
vowels.
just on the ground.
Felix is just laying there. I'll get him in a
He's
second.
unconscious. He's just like.
Okay.
And Delaelia, in response to what you said, there's a minor silence, and then the voice calls out again. We are sworn protectors of this forest. If you were one too, you wouldn't have brought a human into it. Humans hurt the forest. They take our beasts and they take them away and they hurt them. And Theia, you again feel like a little like as if something is grazing the side of your leg, almost as if it's running a hand along your gown.
Wait a second. What do you mean they take them away and hurt them? Like, hurt them how? What beasts?
And there's shaking in the bushes again, and kind of like a whispering, as if whispering to each other. And suddenly, in front of you, Delaelia, standing about a foot tall, is a little sprite. She has short hair that is close to her head, short dark hair. She is wearing leather, it looks like her clothes are made out of leather in a sort of tiny little leather armor. She has wings like a dragonfly has. Mm-hmm. And she also her left arm ends at right about her elbow.
Wow, cool. And
she's looking up at you with very fierce eyes, and she says, "Who are you even? State your business." I bow to her and I say, "I am Delaelia of Aphonatoid. I am sworn to protect this forest. My teacher..." Mm-hmm. No, go ahead, keep going. "My teacher Wahia taught me to be separate from my people if necessary. I have left them, and I'm going to find who is hurting this forest. It isn't black and white. We can't throw out every single human that comes in here, especially when they're trying to help." And the sprite looks up at you, and when you say Aphonatoid, her eyebrows raise, and the rustling in the bushes happens again. And she sizes you up, and then her shoulders drop a bit, and she says, "Well, let me see." And she, I want her to fly up to you. Yes. I don't know if that's how sprites work, but I want her to fly up to you, Delaelia. Mm-hmm. And she says, "We will see if your heart is true." And she puts her hand over your heart. Wow. And I let her. I stand straight, good posture, proud. I have nothing to hide. All right. The sprite touches a creature. Okay. So go ahead and roll me a charisma saving throw, Delaelia. Well, nothing if not charismatic. It's a 10. Okay, so the sprite stands with her hand over your heart for a moment and closes her eyes. And then she pulls her hand back and she nods and announces to her what you would assume is her group, "The elven woman's heart is true." And there's like an excited rustling from the bushes of and Theia, once again, you feel something, and now if you look down, the hem of your dress is sort of lifting off the ground. And it feels like maybe something is underneath your dress now. It's like over some kind of you don't see anything, but it looks like your dress is hanging over something that isn't there. And you hear a,
"Can I help you?" I mean, I'm wearing pants, so it's not a huge problem, but Why? Just why?
And the sprite that was touching Delelia's heart looks over at you, Princess Theia, and she says, "Leave the human alone, Cherry Bloom." And you hear another giggle, and you feel the presence, whatever it is. It lets go of your dress, and you see just the tiniest little, like, the leaves rustling as whatever it is separates itself from you.
Okay. Look, we're not here to hurt the forest, but that thing that just came through here took my brother, and we need to get him back, and then I promise I will get out of your forest as soon as I possibly can, but I'm really worried about him. Can you help us at all, please?
First, you must prove yourself, human. And the sprite woman goes up to you again, and she puts her hand over your heart. And you see her expression changes. Her eyes are closed, but her expression changes. And very quickly she pulls her hand away and looks up at you curiously. And then she says, "The girl's heart is true." And then she steps away from you, Theia, still kind of looking at you curiously. And but her gaze softens a bit. She looks back to you, Delaelia, between the two of you, and she relaxes a little bit. And she says, "My apologies. We have been having some issues lately. I apologize for your," and she gestures over to Felix, who's laying on the ground.
Can you help us revive him?
I think the sprite, she takes her right hand and she whistles, and there's a rustling of the trees, and you don't see anything at first. But then all of a sudden, Felix, you feel lots of little, like, fingers poking you into consciousness. You wake up with the feeling of many little hands, like, kind of like slapping you awake. And you are now awake. But that's a weird way to wake up. So that's what Felix is.
Yeah, he just sits up and he's like, "Tiny people hitting me."
And I say, first of all, that's a lot coming from you, little guy.
I was gonna say, like, what is tiny here?
Rude.
I put my hand on his shoulder and I say, "Be at peace. We are safe here."
I'll take your word for it.
And so I want to speak to the sprite woman and ask her, I bow to her and I put my hand on my heart, like, very respectfully, and I say, "What is your name, my lady?"
And she takes her right hand in her fist and she puts it across her heart, and she bows her head and then holds her head up and she says, "You can call me Commander Krista, milady. We guard this section of the forest." Commander Krista.
What can you tell us about what is going on here? What have you found?
We have been trying to protect the forest from the humans, and she eyes Theia, but not angrily, and other beings that have come into it to try and take ours away.
To take our forest away?
We thought you were creatures coming in to hunt the animals and take them away.
Who's taking the animals away?
And there's a rustling in the bushes again. It's like this little chorus of, like, oh, but this time the whispers sound a little bit fearful. And Theia, the presence is back underneath your dress, and you feel like a little arms, like, wrap themselves around your ankle. And it feels soft.
Scared.
Not like furry, but like just soft.
Oh.
Does this have anything to do with those jackalweres? Or I don't know what those are. Does this have anything to do with those beasts?
And Krista looks at you and she says, we saw the beasts of which you speak, but that is not what our main mission is. We are here to protect the animals from the outsiders. Although, and she looks down, although those beasts are not of our forest. I apologize that we attacked you, but we had to, and I know that it seems that you well, it seems that you have some problems of your own, but you must understand that it is our sworn duty to make sure that nobody hurts the forest. And we had to make sure that you were true of heart.
I understand.
We absolutely understand.
Oh, and then Krista realizes Felix is awake, and she flits over to Felix, and she puts her hand over his heart. Make a charisma saving throw, Felix.
Oh.
Okay, so she leaves her
Like
hand.
the truest of heart.
What did you roll, Felix?
I rolled a 19
Sounds about
with a
right.
1, so that's a 20.
So Krista puts her hand over your heart, Felix, and she actually stays there for quite a while. Her face contorts. She's having trouble reading this one.
Oh.
And finally, she removes her hand and she eyes you suspiciously, and she says, I am not sure about this one.
Okay.
He's
Sorry.
he's good. He's with us. He just he's saved my life a couple times. He made friends with this really sweet girl in the town and saved her life. He's good. I promise. I'll
Is there something that you need to tell us, Felix?
No. No. No, no, I can't think of anything.
You have given us no reason to distrust you, but what Commander Krista says here, she cannot be wrong in this.
Oh, guys,
This
honestly,
might
to
be
be
a good
clear-
opportunity for you to open up.
To be clear, she said that she can't tell. Not that he's bad, but that she can't get a reading on it. She's not sure about his heart. She can't.
Yeah.
Because he rolled really high.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Felix, honest to God, has no idea what could possibly give a bad impression to her. He's honestly I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I feel a little awkward now. Everybody's staring at me, and I feel like I did something wrong, even though I just woke up. So.
Well, the feeling is mutual, friend.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I just say that my brother did just get dragged away by a big wolf-looking thing? Is there something we can do about that? Because that's number one priority for me. I need to know that he's not dead.
Yes.
Yes.
We will allow you to pass further into the forest. But you must keep an eye on this one. And she eyes Felix.
Me.
You must keep an eye on this one.
And I
If
say,
he
he
does
will be my
anything-
responsibility.
And she nods, Delaelia, and she puts out her right hand.
And I take it.
And she shakes.
Okay, cool.
With as much force as this little sprite has. And Theia, the little presence that was underneath your dress exits your dress and exits your dress, and you can you feel a little what feels like a fluttering as something flies past you. And Krista turns to you, Theia, and she says, Cherry Bloom likes you. He likes you, just so you know. He's a bit shy.
Oh, well, tell him that I think he's swell too.
And you hear a giggle from behind you.
All right.
So I thank Commander Krista, and I say, we need to be on our way. Any advice that you have for us would be appreciated. Princess Theia, we will find your brother. I can find him. Don't worry, we will rescue your prince.
Also, nice to meet you. I think you said your name was Delaelia. In all the action, we didn't really have a formal...
Yes, Delaelia. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you seem cool.
My lady, and I bow to her as well.
Oh, you really don't have to... Thank you.
And so I look at her, and I raise my eyebrow, and I go, my lady, and I bow again.
Oh, great. This is going to be a thing, isn't it?
So, Delaelia doesn't like to be told what to do.
Ooh, Krista says, she looks at Thea again and she says, you're a princess. I think that maybe she missed that bit of information earlier, or didn't hear it when it was said, you're a princess.
Yeah, well, I think so. Maybe not anymore. Yeah, I'm Princess Theia Penrose of Highguard, but I kind of just got exiled, so I don't know if that's yeah, I don't know.
Interesting. And Krista shrugs. Well, Princess Delaelia, you. She looks at Felix.
Felix. Felix.
Felix, you may continue into the forest, but be careful. This forest is dangerous to outsiders, like you and you, Princess. You are lucky to have Delaelia with you to protect you, but there are dangers far worse in this forest than myself. And then she holds herself even higher and she says, and that is saying something.
Well, thank you for the wording, and thank you for letting us pass. And, yeah.
Good day, Commander Krista.
Good day. We hope that you don't die.
Thank you.
Thanks for that.
Mutual.
Felix says, rubbing his neck.
And suddenly she's gone. You can't see her. And you hear the rustlings. And they rustle away.
And I say, let's go find Prince Dashing.
Yes, please. Thank you. Does anybody know which way they went?
Yes, I have advantage on survival checks when I'm tracking my natural born enemy, which is you.
Great.
And so I continue on.
What challenges await our heroes in the enchanted forest of Maeril? Will they find Prince Dashing before it's too late? Find out next time on Spellbound. Songs in this episode include Spellbound and Spellbound 2 by Vindsvept. Find them on bandcamp.com. All other music in this episode belongs to Alexander Nakarada. Check him out at Serpent Sound Studios. All sound effects are from zapsplat.com. Until next time.
Cool.
You guys did it. I know it was hard. I know it was long, but you did it.
We did it.
We were there.
It
Alright.
feels like we did so little, and it was so much.
Right? It's just like one encounter, but you guys did a really good job.
I'm glad we got some really good story there at the end, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Me
That's
too.
That's the stuff that keeps me going.